and just think outside the box and get the views.
You waste, Oscar De La Hoya wastes my time.
Boxing is the best, the purest, the most beautiful sport in the world when the best fight the best.
I mean, I think he should go down and win a title at 160 because he won at 47, 40, 54, 68. Go get 60 and you got to close it out. That's fine.
Us fighters who get in the ring and risk our lives, you know, there's enough pie for everyone to pass around.
Oscar De La Hoya believes that even the greatest fighters can eventually make the wrong move. Terence Crawford has just reached another incredible level in his career after defeating Canelo Alvarez. But according to Oscar, success at that level can create an entirely new challenge. De La Hoya has now raised serious questions about Crawford's future and why a potential fight with Jermell Charlo could be far more dangerous than many fans expect. Interestingly, Oscar was also among the notable boxing figures who confidently backed Crawford against Canelo before the fight.
Crawford versus Canelo, which I feel Crawford will win.
Yeah. Okay.
But it'll be a great fight.
Yeah.
His prediction wasn't simply based on hype. He believed Crawford possessed the exact tools required to expose Canelo's limitations. In Oscar's view, the biggest problem wasn't Canelo's chin or punching power. It was his movement. He argued that Canelo could struggle whenever an opponent forced him to constantly reposition his feet. Against an intelligent and adaptable boxer like Crawford, that weakness became extremely difficult to hide.
I've always been impressed with Terence. Yeah. I was not surprised at all. I mean, I called him, I don't know how many days before.
Oscar later doubled down on his opinion, suggesting Crawford controlled the contest and repeatedly frustrated Canelo. He also rejected the argument that age should be used as an excuse, pointing out that Crawford himself was the older fighter. From his perspective, the result came down to skill, strategy, and execution.
Canelo, I promoted him. I know exactly what he cannot handle and what he can handle, where he looks great and where he doesn't. And Crawford was the perfect opponent or fighter to derail the train. That was the bottom line. You move on Canelo just a little bit, and he gets lost.
Crawford's victory was built around recognizing a specific weakness and attacking it throughout the fight. The concern now is simple. His next opponent may present an entirely different puzzle. What worked brilliantly against Canelo may not automatically produce the same result against another elite fighter.
God, it makes me horny.
Yeah, baby.
To tell you, I told you so.
I told you.
I predicted the Canelo Crawford fight like a goddamn fortune teller.
You're the Oracle?
Canelo's feet were cemented on the canvas as he was hitting air. What the f was that? Props to Crawford.
Thank you.
He came up 3 weight classes and fought a beautiful fight.
Good job.
What a great performance.
Did you get what you was looking for?
Like taking candy from a baby.
My candy!
Styles often determine how fights unfold, and De La Hoya believes Crawford's next major challenge could come from something outside the ropes. When asked whether Crawford should retire as champion, Oscar didn't expect that to happen. After reaching the stage where enormous paydays become available, fighters naturally begin considering additional opportunities. According to De La Hoya, this is where mistakes can happen. The danger isn't necessarily poor training. Money can slowly influence opponent selection, motivation, and the reasons a fighter continues competing.
Just played with Canelo, made him look silly. And before you start with your about Canelo being old, just know that Crawford is older.
I'm too old.
That's not an excuse here. Look, I promoted Canelo's entire career.
Put some respect on it.
And it was a huge flop.
How do you like them acts?
The only real fighters he's faced were Mayweather, Bivol, and Crawford, and they all toyed with him.
The warning is about recognizing when ambition begins to change. A fighter who once competed purely to prove greatness may eventually start thinking more about financial rewards. Crawford has defeated Canelo. His value has increased, and major offers could now arrive from every direction. De La Hoya believes this is precisely when a dangerous matchup like Jermell Charlo could become a reality. Charlo represents a major physical challenge at 168 pounds and could enter such a contest with something to prove. That combination makes him the type of opponent a successful fighter cannot afford to underestimate.
And it'll silence a lot of doubters. Not all of them, but it'll silence a lot of doubters. And he can move on to the next challenge. And then that next challenge is possibly a top 10 in the world.
I think the smaller Charlo could be even more dangerous. The smaller Charlo has speed and fights harder, and he's in your face. It's a great payday for him, and he's obviously he took that into consideration when making the decision. It's going to be a tough task. I mean, 2 weight divisions is historical if he wins, and 2 weight divisions if he loses, he has the perfect excuse. I moved up 2 weight divisions.
The threat isn't limited to Charlo's physical ability. Crawford would also need to avoid becoming overly confident after making his previous challenge appear manageable. Charlo already understands the strength and physical demands of competing against elite super middleweights. Following his experience against Canelo, he openly acknowledged the difference in power and even admitted that adding more size may have helped him.
Crawford afterwards hinting at maybe retirement. Do you think he retires? No,
Not at all.
Now he's making the big bucks, right?
Well, now he has a taste of 7 figures, 8 figures, whatever it might be. Once you get a taste of that, towards the end of your career, you're going to make a few mistakes.
Experience could now become valuable. Charlo knows what genuine power at 168 pounds feels like and understands the adjustments required at that level. Crawford began his career in much lighter divisions, and although he successfully handled Canelo, Charlo's natural size could present a different challenge. De La Hoya previously criticized Charlo's cautious performance against Canelo, believing he fought primarily to survive rather than taking meaningful risks.
What's up, guys? Canelo Charlo, super boring fight. I mean, he just showed up for a paycheck. Canelo, obviously, like I said, on quicksand, throwing bombs. He won easy. But anyway, look, if we want boxing to survive, if we want boxing to thrive, we need super fights, like all the time. Fighters must fight each other. We have to come together. Promoters, Eddie Hearn, Al Heyman, Bob Arum, whoever's out there, let's come together. I'm calling you out. Let's come together. Let's meet the power of the minds and come up with something, because boxing can die. I'm calling you all out. Let's do this.
Ironically, that criticism may be exactly what makes Charlo more dangerous in a future fight. He has already received the major payday and experienced the public backlash that followed his performance. Against Crawford, he could enter the ring determined to repair his reputation. A fighter seeking redemption can become unpredictable, especially when he feels there is little left to lose. Crawford brilliantly dismantled a familiar and methodical opponent in Canelo, but a desperate and aggressive Charlo could present a completely different problem.
Just jump right into it. And, Canelo's a motherfucking beast, you know what I'm saying? He an ox. Maybe I felt that more because of the fact that, this is my first time at that weight division. I wish I could have gained a little bit more weight in between from the weigh-in to that time, but I can't control my body and I can't, but like God had this already written. And, I'm glad that I was in there with, to put on the performance for Showtime pay-per-view.
In your perspective, why don't you think he could have stopped Charlo?
No, he could have stopped Charlo. He should have. I mean, first of all, you had a fighter who was there just for the payday, literally. I mean, he's in the biggest stage of his life. Go out there and take some risks. Fight hard. People paid their money. People buy it on pay-per-view. Fight hard, because when you fight hard, you don't lose anything. When it's a great fight, there's no loser.
There's also another argument circulating among boxing fans online. Some critics claim Crawford's resume contains opponents who are already physically compromised or past their best. They point toward names such as Ricky Burns, Yuri Ortiz Gamboa, Jose Benavidez Jr., Kell Brook, and Errol Spence Jr., highlighting different circumstances surrounding those fights. Some have even questioned whether the version of Canelo Crawford faced was still at his absolute peak. However, that argument ignores Crawford's greatest weapon, his boxing intelligence. Crawford doesn't simply depend on speed or favorable timing. He studies opponents, recognizes patterns, and gradually removes their strongest options. Fighters with elite ring IQ have historically created difficulties for Canelo, and Crawford's ability to process information during a fight is one of the main reasons he remains so dangerous. The real question against Charlo isn't whether Crawford's resume is legitimate. It's whether his intelligence can once again overcome an opponent who may be naturally larger, physically stronger, and desperate to prove himself.
This fight, would anybody say that's a 50-50 fight? Canelo got good inside game, but he gonna have to get past Charlo long arms, and Charlo he can use his reach good. He's strong. He got a good jab. It's a toss up with me.
That's going. Charlo got that punching power. I'm just gonna say that.
I think Charlo's gonna take it. The reason why I say that is because he's just on.
De La Hoya has never been shy about expressing strong opinions regarding major boxing events. His reaction to Canelo's previous performances generated plenty of attention, particularly when he publicly criticized the entertainment value of certain fights.
Level. So I think it's a great fight. I just think that the press conferences were freaking lame.
Why?
Just because it was all staged. I mean, come on, guys. Look, if you want to see Canelo pissed off, take a look at my press conference. With Munguia and Canelo. That's Canelo pissed off.
Crawford's team would make a serious mistake if they watched Charlo's performance against Canelo and assumed that version of him would appear again. Charlo may have been cautious because of Canelo's power, the size of the event, and his unfamiliarity with the weight. Against Crawford, his mentality could be completely different. He may view Crawford as the smaller man and feel more comfortable applying pressure. That could reveal a far more aggressive version of Charlo than fans previously witnessed. De La Hoya's warning about money is also connected to a much larger issue within boxing. Promotional rivalries, business disagreements, and legal conflicts continue to influence which fights are made. Problems outside the ring can directly affect a fighter's career decisions inside it.
De La Hoya wastes my time with this question.
Yeah, we saw Oscar De La Hoya trying to say that the fight was going to take place maybe in the daytime.
Yeah, this is what I want from you, to say his name. I decide with Dana White to have a breakfast in MGM at 10 a.m. inshallah. Then we will go to the arena to have the fights quick, and after that we will go dinner to Carbon, and in the night we will watch Conjuring because it will launch in September. You waste, Oscar De La Hoya wastes my time with this question. Of course, this is in the peak. This is the boxing, the sport #1 in the world. This is Canelo and Crawford.
De La Hoya has openly criticized the business surrounding major events. He questioned the quality of the Canelo-Crawford undercard and suggested that those responsible for assembling it had failed to deliver enough value. His comments highlighted a growing concern among fans about whether boxing's biggest events are consistently providing strong supporting fights.
You posted on social media the other day, you're kind of fired up about the Canelo fight. Why didn't you like that fight?
Because it was boring.
What?
I mean, when a fighter throws one punch, when two fighters throw one punch in one round, I mean, what do you expect? I mean, I'm a fighter who has been in there in the line of fire, throwing 100 punches around. Like, the fans want to be entertained. So that was my critique, is coming from a fighter, coming from a world champion. Yeah, I was bored.
Promotional rivalries can also prevent major fights from happening. When powerful figures refuse to cooperate, fans often receive weaker events and fighters lose valuable opportunities. De La Hoya previously expressed disappointment over Showtime's departure for boxing, describing it as a difficult development for the sport, while also acknowledging that change could create new opportunities.
I just look, the fact that a new entity is coming into boxing and already wants to change a bill that has been in place for decades that protects fighters, to me, is shady. That's the bottom line. I mean, think about it. It's shady. The first thing you want to do is change the law, change the rule, the Muhammad Ali Act, which protects the fighters. I instantly think about what they did with the UFC. I instantly think about the UFC signing hundreds, if not thousands of fighters, and they don't even see the light of day. There's total transparency with the bill. You're obligated as a promoter to disclose, everything that might be in the pot. The fighters call it the pot. And you're obligated to disclose, the financial status of your event, of the fighter's event. If you're a main event fighter, a championship fighter, you have every right to look at the books. And with this amendment, they're gonna try and eliminate that.
Oscar has also spoken about communicating with other major promoters, including Bob Arum, regarding potential future events. While he avoided revealing specific details, he suggested significant fights could be on the horizon. His broader message was simple. Boxing's leading promoters need to cooperate. Whether it's Eddie Hearn, Al Heyman, or other influential figures, De La Hoya believes collaboration is necessary to consistently deliver the biggest possible fights for boxing fans.
I was proud that boxing was on Netflix. Just being a purist of the sport, you feel proud. I was not happy with the matchups. I mean, what I saw the week of the Canelo fight, they tried doing some contender boxing stuff. You're having precious contenders, right? Who I know can become world champions 3, 4, 5 years down the road. They're getting eliminated and beat. And you're never gonna hear from them again. That's not fair to the fighter. Now, if that's fair business to them, more power to them. Let them build whatever league they're trying to build. It's okay. Boxing here is safe with me and Eddie Hearn and Frank Warren, the serious guys in the sport. The guys who respect the history and the honor that comes with it. You have a global platform, Netflix, Canelo Alvarez versus Terence Crawford. Every fight that a new audience is gonna watch should have been a known name, should have been champion versus champion. The matchup should have been better. I thought it was a slow night. Completely a slow night. It was still great for boxing because it's out there and people are watching all over the world, but it left a little bad taste in my mouth.
For Crawford, the unstable business environment creates another challenge. Massive paydays may be available, but the opportunities attached to them might not always be ideal. A fighter could accept a dangerous matchup simply because it's the biggest financial offer available rather than waiting for the perfect sporting opportunity. In that situation, boxing politics become another opponent.